Which one do you think is bigger? Often, always, the ones who know how to use trumps the ones who know how to create by a very large margin. At Heritage School, we actively work towards bridging that gap, not just for gifted, but for all. That's me 2 years ago. I graduated from Penn with maker-centered learning in my mind and the knowledge that kids could code, and I moved all the way to India to implement it at mass scale. I was about to start my own digital revolution. 3 months into my digital crusade, these were my results. It's not black by accident. It was a black hole. Whatever I suggested, I never heard back from. And it's not because anybody undervalued digital literacy, it's just because they preferred I do it in isolation. Getting into classrooms was a very tricky subject. Among various barriers, the one that stood firmest was digital literacy isn't relevant to my subject. Put yourself in the shoes of a science teacher, an overworked and over-PD'd one. Why is it his job to learn about a discipline that doesn't align to his matter of expertise? And why take out time from his class to allot to digital literacy? Oftentimes, when we talk about digital citizenship, we limit ourselves to digital footprints and online threats. We ignore digital creation. That is the ability for our learners to look at digital world and look at it as something they can change, manipulate, and create, not just passively consume. But why disrupt our normal classrooms? Here's my question for you. Where does most of the digital creation happen? Makerspaces, computer science labs? What percentage of your total student population access these spaces on a regular basis? 10, 20, 25? If I want all my 3,500 students to become digital creators, I have to take out the making and programming out of makerspaces and into the classrooms. And that's what we did. We curated integrated digital creation challenges. These were an extension of our main subject course views, had to happen in the classrooms. Principle was identify a problem within the subject matter and challenge students to come up with digital solution to tackle the problem. We had 3 grades, 6, 7, 4, 3 subjects, EVS, Science, Social Studies, and because it's India, 1 grade we have 245 students. That's 800 students approx. So if we won, we won big. If we lost, I'd be jobless, but then there's always PhD. So we started with grade 7 science, bodily systems, where students learn about respiratory system, digestive systems, and how it connects to wellness. We had our students go out and observe parents, collect observable data, predict the wellness issues they may have 10, 20 years from now, and attack it with digital solutions or digital interventions. Students identified an array of problems from stress, body posture due to work settings, and lack of exercise. They created immersive exercise games using Scratch and Makey, where you could race an online avatar. They also created variations of a body posture belt. This was happening inside the science classrooms, led by the science teachers, co-facilitated by tech integrators. In grade 6, we picked up air pollution because it's an eminent problem in our country. And then we had students read case studies, and the design challenge was create mobile application that reduced your impact on the pollution. Students came up with a carpool app, which is basically a large database of anybody in a specific community that had a car, which matched it with somebody in the same community that was looking to pool with you. They created this using App Inventor, a free software, again, happened in an EVS classroom, co-facilitated by a tech integrator. In grade 4, we were getting a little tricky. We picked up toys. In this module, students learned about how each point in human civilization, toys capture a part of our being. We challenged them to create toys for the visually challenged. We partnered with our local blind school and had those students come in so that the practice was authentic. On to the right, you see 3D printed learning aids created by grade 4 students with Braille animal names imprinted on them. On the top is a remix version of cards. It's a traditional game except with tactile solutions. And down below, the one in the uniform, is our guest from the blind school who come to give feedback on the products created. This snowballed into something bigger in the senior school. They ended up taking the project further to create sticks that had GPS in them and shoes that had GPS in them, which would alert the relators of a visually challenged person just in case they were in trouble. That depicts my teachers when they went through the digital integration process. Integrating or disrupting classes to encourage digital creation creates mind-numbing fear. What if my students don't create the end product? What if I'm not able to answer a question they ask? Shouldn't coding and programming belong in computer science classrooms or makerspaces? The answer is no. If you really want to bridge the gap between who is creating digital devices and who's consuming them, every child deserves a fair shot. That means making digital creation the norm and not the exception. We have to get into classrooms where they spend most of their time at. What do we do if you do want to experiment? 3 tips. A, embrace the chaos. You're going to lose your mind if you're going to try it out in the classroom and you wouldn't know what you're doing. If you are in a chaotic classroom, you're one step closer to getting it right. Second, create a safe space for failure, not just for the students and teachers, but for yourself as well. I don't have an engineering degree. I do not know how to code well. I am a brown person with an accent and I'm a Muslim. Yet here I am talking to you about how we could scale digital integration across subjects. As women in tech, we have ceilings to break, so don't stop at the first door of obstacle. A shout out to the school that made it possible, Heritage Experiential Learning School. Please look it up, we're looking for collaborators. Manit, the founder of the school, Vishnu, my mentor, and Prerna Menon, the middle school program leader. Thank you so very much.